Hi there. If you're joining us from part 1 of this course on the top 10 innovation challenges, welcome back. If you haven't followed part 1 yet, we encourage you to get started there, because we are now entering part 2 of the top 10 innovation challenges and how to solve them. A quick recap. In part 1, we discussed challenges 10 through 6, which included innovation ROI, digital transformation, strategic foresight, business model innovation, and balancing innovation investments. If you think these are daunting, we're now getting into the top 5 most commonly cited innovation impeding challenges, straight from the people tasked with driving innovation in their organizations. We've collected insights from thousands of conversations with innovation, business development, R&D, and strategy professionals to bring you this list of challenges, keeping these leaders up at night. So without further ado, let's get started with number 5, very topical, AI integration. The meteoric rise of Gen AI and emergence of the AI application layer are rapidly transforming all industries. But for many companies, jumping on the proverbial bandwagon when it comes to high-hype technologies like AI can lead to poorly executed projects and minimal returns on investment. For example, the percentage of organizations regularly using Gen AI nearly doubled in 2024 compared to 2023. However, seeing a return on Gen AI investments may take longer, more than 2 years in most cases. And what's more foreboding, Gartner predicts that by 2028, we'll see about half of organizations that have built their own large AI models shut down these projects due to costs, complexity, and technical debt. Despite this prediction, there is little doubt about the potential of AI to transform business operations and innovation processes. The question is how to harness this potential in a way that is sustainable and value-generating. Best practice for AI integration, or really any tech integration, is to start with a problem, not a technology. The most successful AI implementations are those that solve real business or customer challenges, whether it's automating repetitive tasks, enhancing customer experiences, or improving decision-making with data-driven insights. Before jumping into AI, companies should identify clear use cases where automation and intelligence can create measurable impact. A great example of this comes from the healthcare industry and the very real issue of reducing diagnostic errors in radiology. An especially persistent issue in mammogram screenings for detecting breast cancer. Nearly 3 out of 5 women screened annually for 10 years have experienced a false positive result. To address this, Mayo Clinic partnered with Google Health to implement AI-driven image analysis. The AI system helps radiologists by highlighting potentially cancerous areas with higher accuracy than human analysis alone. In trials, this AI-assisted approach reduced false positives by 6% and false negatives by 10%. This example shows how AI, when applied to a specific high-impact challenge, can create measurable, high-impact results. It also raises 2 additional best practices when it comes to AI integration. Ensure robust data integrity and focus on human-AI collaboration. AI is only as good as the data it's trained on. Poor data quality, bias, and fragmentation will produce poor results, and could have far worse ramifications when the stakes are high, like in healthcare use cases. Mayo Clinic and Google Health trained its AI tool on vast datasets of past mammograms, ensuring that data was not only robust and accurate, but also well-structured and secure. Equally important, this tool was designed to augment rather than replace human expertise. By integrating AI as a decision support tool, Mayo Clinic ensured that medical professionals remain in control, using AI to enhance accuracy and validate diagnoses. This principle applies across industries. AI succeeds when it empowers people with better insights, not when it operates in isolation. Upskilling teams to work effectively with AI is as important as the technology itself. And a final tip for successful AI integration: don't overbuild. Leverage existing AI solutions. Developing proprietary AI models from scratch is costly and complex, and it can pay off. But before investing in custom-built AI systems, first, assess whether pre-trained AI models, API integrations, or off-the-shelf AI solutions can meet your needs. Next, coming in at number 4, sustainable innovation. Sustainable innovation isn't just about reducing environmental impact. It's about transforming how companies create, deliver, and capture value to achieve long-term sustainability goals. While many companies face obstacles in integrating sustainability, some leaders are proving that sustainability and business growth can go hand in hand. A great benchmark for corporate sustainability comes from time and data firm Statista's ranking of the world's most sustainable companies in 2024. The companies topping this list, several of which we're proud to say are ITONICS customers or guests on our podcast, they aren't just meeting regulatory requirements. They're embedding sustainability into their core business models, supply chains, and innovation strategies. Take Schneider Electric, ranked as the most sustainable company of 2024. The energy management giant has committed to carbon neutrality by the end of this year, 2025, and actively helps its customers reduce emissions through energy-efficient solutions. It also tracks its own sustainability performance through a dedicated impact program. Time points out that many of the companies on the list are in services industries like banking, tech, and consulting. But there are a few standouts manufacturing physical goods. Moncler, a luxury fashion brand ranked at number 3, has achieved 100% renewable energy usage across all its global facilities, and is scaling circular design principles by recycling more than 80% of its nylon scraps. And in the 5th spot, Illumina, a US biotechnology company, has reduced packaging waste by 90% in its latest gene sequencer, while maintaining industry-leading performance. These companies illustrate that sustainability is scalable and profitable across industries. What can we learn from these innovative sustainability leaders? Here are some of the key best practices that differentiate them from greenwashers and competitors. Number 1, make sustainability a core business driver. Companies that treat sustainability as a value creator rather than a compliance obligation see greater long-term success. Schneider Electric, for example, has built its competitive advantage around energy efficiency and carbon reduction. And in many cases, it may be beneficial to also tie sustainability to revenue growth, ensuring that your so-called green initiatives enhance customer experience, brand loyalty, or operational efficiency. Number 2, scale beyond pilot programs. One of the biggest hurdles to sustainable innovation is moving beyond small-scale experiments. The most successful companies implement sustainability at scale, integrating it across product lines, R&D processes, and supply chains rather than treating it as a separate initiative. And number 3, collaborate across the value chain. No company can go it alone. Leading sustainable companies work with suppliers, partners, and customers to drive impact beyond their own operations. Just ask Brambles, number 4 on Time's list of most sustainable companies. A global provider of logistics solutions, Brambles knows it takes positive collaboration to move toward regenerative supply networks. To this end, it's made collaboration one of its KPIs, tracked and reported on each year. And this year's target is to double the number of customer collaborations across all regions, from 250 to 500. This approach brings us to the final tip for driving sustainable innovation, a throwback to the very first challenge we discussed in part 1 of this course. Measure, report, and improve. Transparency is key. Companies that track sustainable performance and report progress publicly build credibility and drive continuous improvement. Be sure to have quantifiable sustainability goals, real-time tracking systems, and a clear roadmap for improvement, so progress is measured, reported, and continuously optimized. Now moving on to the third biggest challenge, scaling innovation. We've touched on this briefly already, whether it's scaling sustainability efforts, foresight capabilities, or business model innovation as we discussed in part 1. But now let's get to the core of the issue. For many organizations, innovation thrives in pockets, maybe within an R&D lab, an accelerator program, or specific business units. But getting innovation to spread across the organization and take hold at scale, that's an entirely different challenge. It's not just about generating great ideas. It's about having the right processes, governance models, and systems in place to take those ideas from concept to execution at scale. Some of the most common barriers to scaling innovation include siloed efforts, innovation happening in isolation with little visibility or collaboration, slow decision-making, where promising ideas get stuck in bureaucratic bottlenecks, lack of ownership and accountability, no clear roadmap for who drives ideas forward, and resource constraints, not enough funding, time, or talent to bring ideas to life. So how do companies overcome these challenges? From our experience working with hundreds of organizations scaling innovation across their global operations, the following best practices stand out time and time again. First, build a centralized innovation framework. Innovation shouldn't be ad hoc. A clear framework defines how ideas are sourced, evaluated, funded, and scaled across the organization. Without it, innovation remains fragmented and disconnected from business priorities. Second, define decision-making and governance structures. Scaling innovation requires clarity on who owns what at each stage, from idea selection to execution. Some companies set up innovation steering committees or growth boards to review and prioritize projects, ensuring resources go to the ideas with the highest strategic impact. Third, establish repeatable, agile processes. Innovation isn't a one-time event. Successful companies build structured yet flexible processes that allow new ideas to be tested, refined, and scaled efficiently without excessive red tape. And fourth, leverage AI and automation. See the common threads across these challenges? AI is transforming how companies manage and scale innovation. Instead of relying on manual workflows, AI-powered platforms like the ITONICS Innovation OS remove bottlenecks and automate tasks like scouting, monitoring, and reporting. These capabilities allow teams to identify opportunities faster, to make data-driven decisions around idea prioritization and resource allocation, and to scale innovation efficiently without increasing complexity. When done right, scaling innovation isn't about working harder or doing more. It's about working smarter and doing the right things. And that's how organizations turn innovation from scattered initiatives into a core driver of sustainable growth. We are now at the penultimate innovation challenge, open innovation. Open innovation is about collaborating with external partners, which could be startups, universities, suppliers, or customers, to tap into a broader pool of ideas and co-create new solutions. The challenge isn't adoption, far from it. Research from the Economist Group shows that 90% of organizations have already embraced or plan to implement open innovation within the next 3 years. Nor is it a question of impact. 64% of companies report that open innovation has positively influenced their business performance. The real challenge lies in execution. Opening up your innovation ecosystem increases complexity, and when not managed systematically, securely, and with clear goals, this can also increase risk and waste valuable resources. At ITONICS, we work with many organizations that are driving open innovation using our Innovation OS. So we've seen firsthand the difference in going from a fragmented crowdsourcing or once-off hackathon effort to a systematic, transparent process for open innovation. A prime example is DB Schenker, a global logistics provider that has been working with ITONICS since 2021. It established 2 entities to drive open innovation in the organization. The Startup Terminal, which scouts and collaborates with startups through venture clienting, and the Enterprise Lab, which co-develops new technologies in partnership with customers and suppliers. But with these entities running parallel initiatives, alongside a range of other company-wide innovation activities, DB Schenker needed a way to connect, scale, and streamline all these innovation efforts. To solve this challenge, DB Schenker centralized its entire innovation ecosystem within the ITONICS Innovation OS, creating a seamless, structured approach to managing partnerships, scouting startups, and turning ideas into real business value. So what makes this approach successful? 4 key best practices stand out. Number 1, tie innovation to strategic objectives from the start. At DB Schenker, open innovation isn't just about exploring new technologies, it's about solving real business challenges. Employees across the company are encouraged to submit pain points they encounter along the logistics value chain. These challenges are then analyzed and used to frame opportunities for external partners to help solve. The result? Startups and technology partners address real operational needs in line with strategic priorities. Number 2, build a scalable, data-driven startup pipeline. DB Schenker streamlines startup engagement by allowing companies to apply through its Startup Terminal's external gateway, while also proactively scouting solutions via an integrated Traxon database. With all startup engagements managed centrally in the Innovation OS, DB Schenker has accelerated its startup evaluation and scaling process by 25%, ensuring the most promising solutions move forward faster. Number 3, ensure seamless handover from exploration to execution. One of the biggest pitfalls in open innovation is when ideas stall in early stage exploration. At DB Schenker, once a solution is validated, whether from the enterprise lab or a successful startup pilot, it is transferred into the Startup Terminal's portfolio. Here, clear workflows help track progress, assign accountability, and allocate resources so ideas move toward real-world solutions. And finally, number 4, drive efficiency and collaboration through a single source of truth. By consolidating all innovation intelligence into one platform, DB Schenker has improved transparency, allowing teams to track efforts and avoid duplication, accelerated decision-making, ensuring validated projects move forward with clear ownership, and optimized resource allocation, ensuring investment goes toward high-impact solutions. DB Schenker has made open innovation systematic, managing thousands of startups and hundreds of projects in one platform to drive efficiency, scalability, and real business impact. And with that, we move on to the final challenge in this course, embedding in innovation culture. Nearly a quarter of the innovation experts we talk to cite culture and leadership as the number 1 challenge they face in driving innovation. Ultimately, innovation is about more than just the right tools, processes, and strategies, as crucial as these are. It's about people. Without an engaged, empowered, and forward-thinking workforce and leadership that actively champions innovation, even the most sophisticated innovation frameworks will fall flat. A company's ability to innovate is shaped by its culture, how willing employees are to challenge the status quo, experiment with new ideas, and embrace uncertainty. But don't just take our word for it. Let's hear from leading innovators about what it really takes to embed a culture of innovation.
Innovation is one thing that you constantly need to, and it's not like, okay, this week I'm going to spend time on innovation. That's not how you can think about innovation, right? It has to be part of your culture. It has to be ingrained.
Sanjeev underscores a key truth. Innovation can't be scheduled. It has to be embedded in how a company operates, ensuring that new ideas and improvements happen organically, not just during designated times.
Innovation can come from anywhere, and it should be really part of an organic part of the work and the culture. Because you might have somebody that is kind of in that role of the chief innovation, but I think the important part to emphasize is that innovation can come from all parts of an organization. It really becomes an easier thing to do than trying to kind of force it as a function. It becomes just naturally part of the work that a firm does.
Stephen's message is about ensuring innovation is inclusive and decentralized in the sense that it shouldn't be restricted to a single team. It's not a job title. It's an organizational mindset, and every employee should be given the opportunity and the channel to contribute.
What do you want to achieve? People usually associate a culture of innovation as a route to deliver growth in their business. So you need to start with the business strategy. Where and how is the business planning to grow? In order to deliver that, what behaviors do they want their employees to exhibit in order to achieve that? And having defined those behaviors, what mindsets do you want to instill in your employees in order to exhibit those behaviors? So objectives, behaviors, mindsets. And once you have that, you can build a training program to develop the mindset and the behaviors. And that's how you develop a culture. That's how we do it in TTIP Global.
Andy reminds us that innovation culture doesn't just happen. It's not just about being creative. It must be intentionally designed and linked to business outcomes. Start by defining your strategic goals. Define the behaviors that drive them and cultivate the mindsets that reinforce these behaviors. Then integrate these elements into training and development to make innovation an enduring part of your company's culture.
The first for companies is to have that company-wide vision for innovation that I just highlighted in our case. Embedding it top down, bottom up, left to right across the organization is a really important starting point on the culture. I think then how you organize to execute that vision is also key from a process perspective, which obviously impacts culture as well. That's really key. And I think thirdly, and this is a big topic, but it's about what we call innovation mindset. So a key to kind of having an innovation mindset is about the culture around what we call growth mindset, where we elevate learning and kind of learn it all kind of culture above everything that we do, as opposed to kind of a know-it-all. For example, growth mindset principles are embedded into dimensions of our reward systems each year, for example, for every employee.
Nicholas highlights 3 crucial elements of an innovation culture: a clear company-wide vision, structured execution, and a growth mindset. He touches on some of the same themes as the others: embedding innovation at every level of an organization, leadership support, cross-functional collaboration, and fostering the right mindset, a growth mindset for innovation. At Microsoft, this isn't just talk. Growth mindset principles are built into employee reward systems, reinforcing a company-wide culture that prioritizes learning, adaptability, and long-term innovation success. At the end of the day, the companies that succeed don't just have the latest technology or the biggest budgets. They're the ones that inspire bold thinking, support experimentation, and cultivate a culture of continuous innovation. And with that, we've covered all 10 of the biggest innovation challenges and how to solve them. Back in part 1, we started with innovation ROI, measuring impact beyond financial metrics, digital transformation, integrating technology effectively, not just adopting it, strategic foresight, turning trend tracking into actionable strategy, business model innovation, reinventing how value is created, delivered, and captured, balancing innovation investments, allocating resources between incremental and disruptive innovation. And here in part 2, we discussed AI integration, ensuring AI investments deliver real business value, sustainable innovation, embedding sustainability into core business strategy, scaling innovation, moving beyond pilot projects to enterprise-wide impact, open innovation, effectively collaborating with external partners, and lastly, innovation culture, making innovation a mindset, not just a department. Remember, success isn't just about ideas, it's about execution, alignment, and impact. And that's where an innovation operating system comes in, removing roadblocks, creating structure, and streamlining collaboration to turn innovation from aspiration into action. So that's it for part 2 of this course on top innovation challenges. We hope you're walking away with clear strategies and actionable insights to tackle today's biggest innovation challenges. As you continue to grow and innovate, we encourage you to explore our other Academy courses and online resources at ITONICS-innovation.com to deepen your expertise and stay ahead of the curve. See you next time.